Yo, what's the dealio, man? Listen, you already know I got a straight banger for you. All right? It is Wednesday, and you already know what time it is, y'all. I want you to say it with me. It's Wisdom Wednesday. All right? Every single Wednesday, I'm bringing you guys a little piece of wisdom that I've learned along the journey of life, right? Not just stocks, right? You guys, a lot of y'all know me from, YouTube and stocks, but I've been here way before stocks. I've been living life. I've been learning lessons. I've been going through things and stuff like that. So I got a lot of wisdom and lessons from life that I've learned, and I just want to share it with y'all, right, throughout this YouTube channel every Wednesday and all of that good stuff. So I don't want to waste y'all time. We're going to get into it, but let me just say this real quick. Be sure to like this video and also subscribe to the YouTube channel. All right. So Wisdom Wednesday, let's get it, man. All right. So that's what we got right here. Sometimes you have to break even for a long period of time before you get to really take off. Right? Everyone is trying to go as high as possible, as fast as possible, without knowing what the foundation feel like, right? Whew. As long as you could break even, you could have whatever you want in this world, all right? So listen, this is the break even philosophy, right? So on the journey, I always be thinking. So when I'm like at a place, let's say I overcame something or I got over a hurdle, right? I'm gonna reflect back on it. When I take a L, I'm gonna reflect on it. And I'm gonna be like, okay, how could I do better? How could I have done that better? What was the lesson here and stuff like that, right? So what I've learned is a lot of times people give up because they feel like they're not getting where they want to go, right? But watch this. They don't realize that in the thing that they're doing in the pursuit of whatever they're pursuing, they haven't lost, right? They haven't lost anything. Just because you're not going as fast as you want to go does not mean that you're losing, okay? So let's put this in perspective real quick. You may be on a journey. It could be stock market, learn how to trade. It could be a business. It could be want to be an actor, actress. It don't matter, whatever it is, right? You're going to have times where things feel like they're going up. And then you're going to have times where things feel like they're going down, right? Now, the times where things feel like they're going down or you just took an L, a lot of times the human mind focuses on and fixate on that negative thing way more than they focus on the green, than they focus on the wins, right? So what happens is you win a little bit, you lose a little bit, you win a little bit, you lose a little bit. And because you haven't got to your pinnacle, because you haven't got to where you want to go, you feel like you're losing, okay? But when we zoom out, all you're doing is you're going up and down, and you're basically breaking even, right? You're at a net even. You make some money, you got to put money out for something for the business, right? You make some more money, okay, now you got to pay another vendor, right? So now you feel like every time you make money, the money goes away, right? You in trading, you make money, you make $300 today, right? Next 2 days you lose $280. And you're like, dang, I'm losing. But I need you to zoom out, okay? I need you to zoom out and I need you to understand that you're not losing. You're breaking even, right? And when you understand, when you zoom out and you realize that, okay, I've been breaking even for this past 2 to 3 month period. What did I say? Most people don't know what the foundation feels like. That break even period of time, that's your foundation, right? So now, when you go up to the next level, right, you know what it takes to sustain something. You know what it takes to sustain something. You know what it takes to be at a level and maintain it. You know what it takes to be consistent. See, a lot of the lessons that you are going to need for where you're going to go in your life, you need those lessons right now. And if you got all this money, if you got all this success way too early, you would blow it. Okay? You would blow it. So let me guys give you a stock market reference real quick. An example to bring this home. If a stock is going up nice and steady, right? It's more likely that that stock is not going to drop crazy, right? But if a stock goes straight up, right? If a stock goes straight up, there's a high likelihood that that stock is going to come right back down, right? It's easier to lose it and come back down if you just went straight up. So what do they say? You lose things the same way you got the thing, okay? So if you get something, if it takes you, 2 years to get something and be methodical in your approach to that thing, you're going to lose it methodically if you do end up losing it. And the beautiful part about it is, if you're going to lose it methodically, you're going to lose it piece by piece by piece because you got the thing piece by piece by piece. Now, if you're losing, you're going to have multiple opportunities to fix the thing so that you don't continue to lose, because your system was set up so strong and so tightly that when you are taking a loss or something is coming down, you're going to have time to be able to see that the thing is coming down, right? So you'll be able to do damage control on whatever the thing is. You'll be able to make the adjustments as things are coming down so you can push it back up, right? And this is for your life. This is not just stocks, but this is a reference. This is an example. This is an analogy, right? But if you go straight up, right, and you have all this success very fast, we call this thin structure, right? You didn't build anything, right? There was no methodicalness to the approach. It just happened, right? What if you get all this success and you don't even know how you got the success? What if you get all this money and you don't even know how you got all of this money, right? Think about it. You made all this money, but you don't really know how you made the money. You're going to lose it very easily. And what do I mean by that? Because people could be like, okay, I got a business. I know how I made the money. But this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that foundation. I'm talking about understanding the operations of how the money is being brought in. If you got a business, if you're trading, right? If you're an entrepreneur, freelancer, whatever. So sometimes it's going to feel like you losing, you taking L's. But I need you to get up out your feelings and zoom out, right? You got to understand the power of being able to zoom out, right? If I step back, right, you can see more of me. But when I zoom in, right, you only can see a lot less. When you have a full picture, you're going to be able to make more of what you're looking at, right? This is how the game goes. This is how it goes. So I don't care if you just took an L. I don't care if it feel like you ain't making no progress. You building your foundation. You building your sustainability. You building your longevity. You investing into all of that. Every win and every L is a deposit into your future. It's a deposit. So you got to keep making the daily deposits and keep sometimes breaking even in order to really go crazy, to really go up. If you are only focused on, I want to get there, I want to get there, I want to get there, what do you think is going to happen? You're not going to appreciate the ride. You're not going to appreciate the journey. And then you get there, you ain't going to appreciate that. And then you're going to do things that aren't in your moral compass because you didn't have a moral compass, because you was only trying to just do whatever you had to do to get where you wanted to go, right? You want to be able to go where you're going, but you want to get there with integrity. You want to get there with honor, with all of your morals intact. You don't want to sell your soul just to get somewhere, just to get some money. You don't want to sell your soul. Really ask yourself, how do I want to get my money? How do I want to get my wealth? How do I want to acquire my wealth? These are the things you got to ask yourself. And how you make your money is more important than how much money you make, right? How you become successful is more important than how successful you are. Because you could be very successful, But if you got all of your success off the backs of doing some wicked stuff, it don't matter how successful you are, right? So you got to really, really, really ask yourself, how invested am I in my future? Am I willing to break even for a month of doing something so that that could set me up on a foundation to go higher? Am I willing to do that? Listen, sometimes you're going to feel like you ain't made no progress in 18 months. And in that 19th and 20th month, you're going to blast off, right? But this goes back to being able to see what you can't see, believe in what you can't see, right? You got to be able to see the invisible so you could do what seems to be impossible. You have to. You got to trust the process. You got to trust the timing of your life. You got to literally trust so much that it don't matter what happens. It don't matter what's going on in life. You are unshakable. And you know as a diehard fact where you're going. Therefore, it doesn't matter what's right in front of you. It doesn't matter what's in front of you. You know why it doesn't matter what's in front of you? Simply because when you see what's in front of you, right? Watch this. When you see what's in front of you, but you know where you're going and what's behind that thing right there, you are willing to face that thing. And when you face that thing, it becomes smaller because what you're looking past it is so much bigger, and you know it's going to be worth it. I'm willing to go through whatever I need to go through to get where I want to get through, as long as I can keep my integrity and my moral compass intact. That's what this is really about here. So when you feeling like I ain't getting where I want to get to, yes you are. Stop that. Stop that. Right? I need you to stop that. I need you to stop that, and you need you to stop that. Right? I feel like I ain't making no progress. Zoom out. Zoom out so you can see what's really going on. Do you not understand the value and the importance of a skill set? Right? You got to make sure the thing that you're doing is worth it. Because if you know it's worth it, you ain't going to be feeling this way. Right? So please, please, please understand that it's okay to break even. And sometimes you got to break even for a long period of time so that you can have the foundation strong enough to be able to go higher. You can't go higher with a rocky BS foundation. You can't. But you know what you can do? With a rocky BS foundation, you're going to fall easy. Right? So listen, y'all, go break even. If you feel like you're not where you want to get to, where you want to be, keep breaking even. Because as long as you break even, you have a fighting chance. You have a fighting chance at going higher. But if you lose it and you can't break even and now you in the red, you ain't got no chance. And when I say the red, I'm not talking about just money. I'm talking about energetically, spiritually, right? Emotionally, right? If you ain't got nothing else and you at a loss, a net loss, and it's just too much, what is that going to do? That's going to force your hand and you're going to have to quit. You're going to have to walk away. But if you could break even, right? If you could break even and still be able to operate, you good money. You're going to get where you want to get to. Think about a business. If a business is losing profit, right? And let's say a business has $20,000 in their account for the business, and it takes $5,000 every month for this business to run, right? If every month they're losing $1,000, they're not going to be in business longer than 4 months, right? They're not. At the 3.5 month, they're going to be at a net loss and they cannot continue to operate. But what if they are breaking even, right? They ain't making no profit, but they ain't losing no profit. Everything is paid for, right? Every single month, and they're at $0. But then one day, because they've been breaking even, something happens and now their revenue spikes and now they go make $35,000 in a month. But they only need 5 to operate. Now they got an extra 25,000, 30,000. Now they could have some breathing room, maybe make some investments into the business and take the business to that next level, right? That's the power of being able to break even. Sometimes you got to break even until you get your big break. Write that down, all right? So check this out, y'all. I really hope that you guys got something from this. If you made it to this video, I want you to put in the comments, my foundation is solid. All right? My foundation is solid. Because with breaking even comes lessons, and those lessons are wisdom that will be able to stay with you forever. The wisdom that you accrue and accumulate on your journey can never be taken away from you. But money can always be taken away from you in a snap of a finger. All right? So listen, I hope that this video was good for you. Like I always say, make sure you get up out your head, go get into this world, because your head is a dangerous place to live. All right? And also remember, y'all, the more you study, the less you work. All right? I appreciate y'all time. I appreciate y'all tapping in, man. Y'all stay smooth, and I'm going to holler at you tomorrow. Peace.